The Happy Family by Christian Andersen. Narrated by Lehman. The biggest leaf we have in this country is certainly the burdock leaf. If you hold one in front of your little stomach, it looks just like a real apron, and in rainy weather, if you lay it on your head, it does almost as well as an umbrella. It's really amazingly large. Now, a burdock never grows alone. No. When you see one, you'll always see others around it. It's a splendid sight, and all this splendor is nothing more than food for snails, the big white snails which the fine people in olden days used to have made into fricassees. When they had eaten them, they would smack their lips and say, my, how good that is! For somehow they had the idea that the snails tasted delicious. You see, these snails lived on the burdock leaves, and that's why the burdock was first grown. There was a certain old manor house where the people didn't eat snails anymore. The snails had almost died out, but the burdock hadn't. These grew and grew on all the walks and flower beds. They couldn't be stopped, until the whole place was a forest of burdocks. Here and there stood an apple or a plum tree, but except for that, people wouldn't have thought there had ever been a garden there. Everywhere was burdock, and among the burdocks lived the last two incredibly old snails. They themselves didn't know how old they were, but they could remember very clearly that once there had been a great many more of them, that they had descended from a prominent foreign family, and they knew perfectly well that the whole forest had been planted just for them and their family. They had never been away from home, but they did know that somewhere there was something called a manor house, and that there you were boiled until you turned black and were laid on a silver dish. But what happened afterwards? They hadn't the least idea. Furthermore, they couldn't imagine what it would be like to be boiled and laid on a silver dish, but everyone said it must be a very wonderful and great distinction. Neither the cockchafer nor the toad nor the earthworm whom they asked about it could give them any information. None of their families had ever been boiled or laid on silver dishes, so the old white snails knew they were by far the most important people in the world. The forest was there just for their sake, and the manor house existed just so that they could be boiled and laid on silver dishes. The two old snails led a quiet and happy life, and since they were childless, they had adopted a little orphan snail, which they were bringing up as their own child. He wouldn't grow very large, for he was only a common snail. But the two old snails, and especially the mother snail, thought it was easy to see how well he was growing, and she begged the father snail to touch the little snail's shell if he couldn't see it, and so he felt it and found that she was right. One day it rained very hard. "Just listen to it drum on the burdock leaves," cried Father Snail. "Rum-ta-tum, rum-ta-tum." "Drops are also coming down here," said the mother. "It's coming straight down the stalks, and it'll be wet down here before you know it. I'm certainly glad we have our own good houses, and little one has his own. We're better off than any other creatures. It's quite plain that we're the most important people in the world. We have our own houses from our very birth, and the burdock forest has been planted just for us. I wonder how far it extends and what lies beyond it." "There can't be anything beyond," said Father Snail. "That's any better than we have here. I have nothing in the world to wish for." "Well, I have," said the mother. "I'd like to be taken to the manor house and boiled and laid on a silver dish. All our ancestors had that done to them, and believe me, it must be something quite uncommon." "Maybe the manor house has fallen to pieces," suggested Father Snail, "or perhaps the burdock forest has grown over it so that the people can't get out at all. Don't be in such a hurry. But then you're always hurrying so. And the little one is beginning to do the same thing. Why, he's been creeping up that stalk for 3 days. It really makes my head dizzy to watch him go." "Don't scold him," said Mother Snail. "He crawls very carefully. He'll bring us much joy, and we old folk don't have anything to live for. But have you ever thought where we can find a wife for him? Don't you think there might be some more of our kind of people farther back in the burdock woods?" "I suppose there may be black snails there," said the old man. "Black snails without houses? Much too vulgar, and they're conceited anyway. But let's ask the ants to find out for us. They're always running around as if they had important business. They're sure to know of a wife for our little snail." "Certainly I know a beautiful bride," said one of the ants, "but I don't think she'd do, because she's a queen." "Well, that doesn't matter," said Mother Snail emphatically. "Does she have a house?" "She has a castle," replied the ant, "the most beautiful ant's castle with 700 corridors." Ah, thank you very much, said Mother Snail, but our boy shall not go into an ant-hill. If you don't know of anything better, we'll ask the white gnats to find out for us. They flit around in the rain and sunshine.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?